Well, hi there. Oops, you're seeing the results of my what I needed to do. I left the ribbon that you guys are going to be using at the studio, but I found my crinkled white seam binding ribbon and just used my Highland Heather, my light Highland Heather blend to color it, and it's going to work just fine. So that's there. Okay, then, oh, I might need that. I just tossed it off to the side and realized I might actually want that. So you have a Highland Heather base, okay. Then you have a gorgeous grape layer and a Highland Heather layer that we're going to be stamping on, and I wouldn't glue that down just yet because this is going to be one of those that I think we want that whole layer up on dimensionals. You also have a circle, and for the people in studio, I have a whole bunch of white for you to punch from, and if you are doing this at home, I have given you cardstock to punch. Okay, so so you're going to need this stamp, okay? And what we're going to do is just take our gorgeous grape ink and any kind of darkish purple or even tone on tone or Versamark, any of that will work, okay? And we're just going to go and stamp this across. Now you may find it helpful to use the grid paper and kind of help yourself visually look. I don't know. What I'm going to kind of do though is go a little high on one and then slightly lower on the next one so that the flowers are not exactly. Now if you really wanted to make sure your rows were even, you could always they're spaced far enough apart, you could actually throw one on there if you felt like you wanted to. I am not sure I'm going to be that particular, but maybe if, you know, we'll see. This is a down and up and a down. So we're just going to go right across there. Okay. I kind of like the uneven edges. If that's not what you like, you can go ahead and fill in if you want. I'm going to just kind of leave mine like this. Okay. The last one. Oh, this one might get a little scrunchy. There we go. Yeah, it got a little crowded at the end. That's okay. It's hand stamped. Nobody should notice. And if they do, remember we've talked about this. They never get another hand stamped card from you if they complain or have comments. Okay, so that can just get set aside. Now we're going to kind of concentrate on this. I'm going to use my gorgeous grape again. Now this is a little bit of a big greeting, but it's gonna fit. You're just gonna want to pick kind of one side or the other depending on where you're going to end up putting it on your card. Okay, and then we're going to need one big flower that gets punched up and down like this. And we need 3 of the little ones that get punched kind of like an X. So I'm going to start down here with the little one, I think. And we're going to try the big one up here. Okay. Let's see if I can get a little one in here. I bet I can. Let's get right up in there. Oh yeah. Okay, one little one. And I bet I can get over here and hopefully what I'm doing, oh, I am really lucky because I think this one's going to be okay. Let's try turning it this way. And whoops, a little too thick. All right, let's see if this is gonna, oh, we are just making it. You ever do that? Do that all the time. There, okay. Now, you can use blends. You can use a blender pen, which is what I was thinking I would do if I can find it. Oh, there's my chalk marker. There's a blender pen. I knew I had one out here. Now that is the gorgeous grape. So what you can do is just take a little block, and I want something a little lighter. So I'm going to just take a little bit of Highland Heather ink. Okay. I'm going to just get a little bit on there and use this and just kind of go out from the center. Okay, like that. You can be more specific if you want. All right. Actually, for this bigger one, I'm just gonna you can also use a wink of Stella. Okay, a wink of Stella will work the same way this is working. I'll just grab a piece of scrap and clean this so I'm not getting it. I may want one more flower because I'm not sure I love that one. Maybe don't do that. Here we go. Let's use, and it's okay if it's in Highland Heather, I don't mind. Get that X. There we go. And the other thing you can do is not add any ink, but just move the ink that's already there around a little bit. Let me show you what I mean by that. So if you take a wink of Stella or the blender pen, either one, and you just take, let's get rid of that one, I'm not really crazy about that. And you just take and move the ink that's there. That's not moving a whole lot right now. That's okay. Sometimes it does. Sometimes it works better when there's more ink or a darker ink or you stamped it really recently. That one I got a little too much. That's a little darker than I wanted it. I may end up hiding that petal. You know. All right, and then that, as those dry, they'll be a little bit lighter. And I haven't added too much more ink, so this one's going to be quite light, which is fine. Okay. Let's get that out of the way. All right, so let's add this layer, the Highland Heather layer, onto the gorgeous grape. Okay. Like that. And we have some dimensionals, and we will just use a lot of them. When you're doing the whole layer, you want to make sure you're supporting it well, because there's nothing worse than getting a card in the mail that's supposed to have dimension to it and it's all squashed flat. So use plenty. These might be those dimensionals that were kind of finicky. We had some for a little while that were just, sometimes the adhesive peeled off. You just never knew exactly what was going to go on with those. I think they came in a paper pumpkin or something. I just happen to have them kicking around here. So that's what I used. But I'm having to be a little bit careful with them. So I'm also going to include in your packet I think I got them all. Feels like it. All right. A little packet of some different ways that you can create flowers using your punch. Okay, so by trimming the flowers slightly differently, once they come out of the punch, you can actually create some different shaped blooms, which is pretty fun. And by combining them in different ways. Okay, so this is going to go up on dimensionals as well. These are a little bit better. Okay. So what we're going to do though is we're going to take our ribbon and kind of go back and forth so it sticks out on either side. So I'm going to put a dimensional there to help that one stay. I'm going to put a dimensional over there so that one will stay. And then I'm going to put a dimensional here. So those will stay. And then once that's on your card, now if you're not crazy about that kind of look, you don't have to do that. Okay, there's no rule that says you have to. I just did because it's kind of an interesting thing, and lots of people do like it. So anyway, and then you can trim, like I noticed this end was where I stopped coloring, so we'll just snip that off. And this end needs an angle so it doesn't unravel. Okay, so you can just kind of weave it back and forth, and by holding it in place with lots of dimensionals, that will just help things a bit. Okay. So then we put this on our card front. Okay. There we go. All right, so find where that looks good. All right, then we're gonna just add our flowers. All right. Now, here's a good place where you can see if I don't support out here, because this is up on dimensionals, it will flop. Okay. All right. So one petal has to have a dimensional and one is going to get a glue dot. Sort of the opposite side. Okay. All right. So we're going to start with that kind of in the middle, like that. Then we're going to use some of our little ones. Now one of our little ones, got this mini glue dot on my finger and I don't really want it yet. One of our little ones is going to go to the middle of our big one, and we're going to just offset them just a tiny bit like that. And then we're going to add a couple of other little ones. And again, we're going to use the glue dots and a mini dimensional on the opposite petal so that it gets supported. All right. So we can just add that one in there. Okay. And then one more. And this one I'm going to pull in pretty far, but try not to cover my words. Okay, because I don't want it to interfere with the, so this one can actually get regular adhesive like that. And then I can carefully kind of put it right around there. Okay. So for my purple fans, that is a purple card. I hope you like that one. It was one of my favorites. All right. Thanks, guys.